Banana breakdown here. What if I told you that your record collection might be carrying a dark secret, one that's affecting our planet more than you might think? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes you'll discover why your favorite albums might be singing a very different tune when it comes to our environment. But first, let's rewind a bit. Vinyl is back, and it's bigger than ever. In 2021, vinyl sales in the US hit 41.7 million units. That's a 51.4% increase from 2020 and a 30-year high. But here's the kicker. Vinyl now accounts for over 50% of all physical album sales, even beating out CDs. Let that sink in for a moment. I know what you're thinking, but why? We have Spotify. Well, for some, it's about that warm, rich, nostalgic sound. Others love the artwork, or the thrill of the hunt for rare pressings. And also, it's just cool. But this vinyl renaissance isn't just about nostalgia, it's a cultural phenomenon. Take Record Store Day, for instance. This worldwide event has been boosting vinyl sales since the mid-2000s, turning record buying into a celebratory experience. Vinyl sales in the US grew tenfold from 2007 to 2014. And that growth? It just keeps on spinning. It's not just an American thing either. The UK saw vinyl sales hit 5 million units in 2021, their highest since the early 1990s. But here's where things get sticky. All this vinyl love, it comes at a cost. And I'm not just talking about inflation. The environmental impact of this vinyl boom is more significant than you might think. And it raises a crucial question. In our quest for the perfect analog sound, are we accidentally scratching the surface of our planet? We are about to peel back the label on vinyl production. Warning. What you're about to learn might change the way you look at your record collection forever. Now, let's unveil the curtain of vinyl production. Warning. It's not very pretty. Every vinyl record starts its life as tiny pellets of polyvinyl chloride, or PVC. Sounds harmless, right? Well, PVC production releases dioxins, which are some of the most toxic chemicals known to science. But wait, there's more. The vinyl chloride used in production, it's also a known carcinogen. Workers in these plants are at risk of a rare liver cancer called angiosarcoma. And it's not just the workers at risk. These chemicals can leak into the environment, affecting communities near production facilities. But PVC isn't the only ingredient. Vinyl records also contain stabilizers, plasticizers, and carbon black for that classic dark color. It's a cocktail of chemicals that would make anyone who cares about the environment cringe. Now, let's talk carbon footprint. And I'm sorry for what you're about to hear. Producing vinyl emits about 15 to 17% more CO2 than even fossil fuels. Yes, you heard that right. Your record collection might be less green than you thought. Oh, and water usage? Let's just say vinyl production is thirsty work. The industry uses significant amounts of water for cooling and wastewater treatment. But I found a few different numbers on this, so I don't want to give a wrong statistic. Just know they're all very high numbers. Now onto the other side. While streaming does have its own carbon footprint, studies suggest that it can reduce energy and CO2 emissions by 40% to 80% compared to physical media. Also, don't forget, unlike your digital playlist, vinyl records don't biodegrade. They can take anywhere from 450 to 1,000 years to decompose. But before you panic and abstain from records forever, know that the industry is trying to improve. In recent years, we've seen a growing push for more sustainable vinyl production. For starters, many vinyl manufacturers have significantly reduced vinyl chloride emissions. In fact, residual vinyl chloride monomer levels in US PVC resins are now often at non-detectable or very low parts per billion levels. Introducing eco-vinyl. Some companies are experimenting with alternative materials that promise a smaller carbon footprint. Another promising option? Plant-based plastics. These alternatives could potentially biodegrade in decades rather than centuries. Studies show that younger generations are more willing to pay extra for sustainable products. But what about all those old records? Recycling vinyl has always been a challenge, but that's changing too. New recycling programs are popping up, offering competitive prices and efficient collection methods. While the recycling rates are still low, there's room for growth. Now that we've painted a grim picture of vinyl's environmental impact and also the future, let's talk more closely about the life cycle problem of vinyl records. Sure, they are durable, and we love the fact that our vinyl records can last decades with proper care. But here's the problem. Durability comes at the cost of biodegradability. Vinyl records don't just disappear. They sit in landfills, potentially for centuries, adding to our ever-growing waste problem. When it comes to recycling, vinyl presents a massive challenge. Unlike materials like glass or aluminum, vinyl is very difficult to recycle. The complex mix of chemicals used in its production means it can't be easily melted down and reformed without releasing harmful substances into the atmosphere. The reality is that most vinyl records that are discarded end up in landfills. Think about how heavy vinyl records are compared to a simple MP3 file. Transporting these records from production facilities to stores worldwide requires a significant amount of fuel. This transportation cost contributes heavily to their overall carbon footprint. It also doesn't end there. Playing vinyl records also consumes more energy than you might think. Turntables, with their motors and electronics, draw more power than simply playing a song on your smartphone or computer. The carbon footprint of vinyl, when you consider its full life cycle from production to playback, is significantly higher than that of streaming music. But it's not all doom and gloom. The vinyl industry is starting to take notice. There are initiatives and efforts to produce vinyl in a more eco-friendly manner. Companies are exploring alternative materials and more efficient production processes. There's a push towards using less harmful chemicals, and even some attempts at creating plant-based vinyl that could potentially break down more quickly in the environment. One such innovation is the use of recycled PVC in vinyl production. This process reduces the need for new raw materials and helps mitigate some of the environmental impact. Additionally, some manufacturers are exploring ways to make the entire production process more energy efficient and less reliant on fossil fuels. Recycling programs specifically for vinyl records are also emerging. These programs aim to collect old, damaged, or unwanted records and repurpose them, though they are still in their infancy and not widespread. They offer a glimmer of hope for reducing the environmental footprint of vinyl, but there's a long way to go. Now, what can we, as consumers, do? How do we balance our love for vinyl with our concern for the planet? One approach is to buy second-hand records. By purchasing used vinyl, we can enjoy our music without contributing to the demand for new records and the environmental impact that comes with their production. Plus, there's something special about the hunt for vintage records with a history of their own. Proper disposal of vinyl records is also crucial. Instead of tossing them in the trash, look for recycling programs or creative ways to repurpose old records. Some artists and craftspeople transform old vinyl into new products, from bowls to wall art, giving these records a new life and keeping them out of landfills. Lastly, let's talk about the future. Vinyl has a unique cultural significance that's not going away anytime soon. But as we move towards a more eco-conscious world, it's important to be aware of the impact of our choices. By supporting sustainable practices and making informed decisions, we can continue to enjoy vinyl records while also taking care of our planet. So, next time you put a record on, take a moment to think about the journey it's been on, from raw materials to your turntable. And remember, we have the power to influence the industry with our choices. If you enjoyed today's journey through the grooves and grips of our topic, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Your thoughts and feedback really help me. Until next time, keep peeling back the layers of the everyday and reveal the extraordinary in the ordinary.